Dr. Robbie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good morning,
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good
Morning.
morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Always fresh.
Dr. Shah, is Dr. Rodi Garcia coming or joining us?
Yes, ma'am. He knows about it.
Okay.
Hindi man sa klaro kung ito ayan mo. Layo sa dapat. Sige, klaro sa ayan ni boses. Sure.
Reminding everyone to please mute your mic.
Kung unmute, yung man. Sige lang, unmute yung mute na.
Dapat i-mute din ako. Naka-unmute man ganiha.
Unmute ang nakabutan.
Oo.
Speaker ang wala.
Mute na siya karon.
Naning sound. Volume ni mo, ma'am.
Di madunggan ako sila pero di ko sigurado kung madunggan ko nila.
Okay, confirm na daw kinsay ko na nila. Kinsay host ani nila. Wag naman ni siya secretary.
Hello, ma'am. Madungog ka, ma'am. Madungog.
Madunggan ko lagi. Sorry. Sorry, so ibutang na ko sa unmute.
Unmute, ma'am. Unmute, mute. Hello, Sir Rowell. Welcome.
Hi, ma'am. Thank you.
We are just waiting for Dr. Garcia, the speakers, to join the room.
Yes, Sir Roel.
Ma'am Yoli Medina, are you in the room now?
Good morning.
Good morning, Sir Robin.
Testing my audio. Good morning, everyone.
I can hear you, Dr. Robin.
Okay. Thank
We're just waiting for Dr. Garcia.
Hello, Shams.
Hi, Ma'am Yelene.
Okay. So, wait lang. I'll try to start my camera. Hello.
Hello, Ma'am. I can see you.
Hello. Yes. So, hello po, Dr. Robin. Yeah. So, sino yung first? Si Dr. Roger? Tama
Dr.
ba,
Roger
Shams?
will come first. Okay.
Okay. And then after 45 minutes, ako. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Sige. I'll close my camera first. Sige, mamit na yun.
Dr. Tan, can we already start? Dr. Tan, good morning. Can we already start? Dr. Dan, good morning. Can we already start?
Okay. Am I clear?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Dr. Rovi, we can already start.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Rovi Bangis, we may already start.
Okay. Am I audible po?
We can hear you.
Okay. So all of the speakers po and are already joining us right now.
They are with us already, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll begin, sir. Okay. Education breeds confidence. Confidence breeds hope. And hope breeds peace. Have a peaceful morning to everyone, especially to my fellow officers and members of the Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work programs in Region 9. Likewise, to the Commission on Higher Education officials headed by Dr. Rodi P. Garcia, OAC Regional Director, together with Dr. Jacinta Arten, Senior Education Specialist and Chief Education Supervisor. And of course, to our ever vigorous Education Supervisor too, Dr. Shamir R. Kasim, who is spearheading the team and the series of webinar. And to everyone who is watching right now, good morning and welcome to the first series of webinar for Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work programs with a theme, Transcending Beyond What Was Normal. Today, what we are doing is we are keeping ourselves abreast with the new normal educational landscape, which will have an overarching role in mentoring our students amidst the interference of this global pandemic. So without further ado, let's begin with the reading of webinar guidelines to be given by Dr. Shamir R. Kasim, Education Supervisor 2 of the Commission on Higher Education, Region 9.
Good morning, everyone. So that we will have a smooth flow of our webinar today, the following guidelines should be observed. Kindly mute your microphone and make sure that they are kept in mute mode when someone else is speaking. You may turn off the video function to maximize internet bandwidth. During the open forum, use the raise hand function and wait for the moderator to acknowledge you to ask questions. You may also use the chat box for your concerns. Thank you.
Okay, at this juncture, let's invoke God's presence with a prayer through an audio-visual presentation.
Oratio Imperata on the threat from COVID-19. God our Father, we come to you in our need to ask your protection against the COVID-19 virus that has claimed lives and has affected many. We pray for your grace for the people tasked with studying the nature and the cause of this virus and its disease. and of stemming the tide of its transmission. Guide the hands and minds of medical experts that they may minister to the sick with competence and compassion, and of those governments and private agencies that must find cure and solution to this epidemic. We pray for those afflicted. May they be restored to health soon. Grant us the grace to work for the good of all and to help those in need. Grant this through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen. Mary, help of Christians, pray for us. Saint Raphael the Archangel, pray for us. Saint Roch, pray for us. Saint Lorenzo Ruiz, pray for us. Saint Pedro Calungsod, pray for us.
Okay. So it is but essential to acknowledge the participants of today's session. So in order to do that, we would like to call in Professor Glory Jean G. Leonin, President of the Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work Programs, and the Dean of the College of Social Work and Community Development at Western Mindanao State University.
To our Commission on Higher Education 9, Officer in Charge, Director 4, Dr. Rodi P. Garcia, Dr. Jacinta Artan, the Senior Education Program Specialist, and Officer in Charge, Chief Education Program Supervisor, distinguished webinar speakers, Dr. Roger P. Serkes and Professor Yulin E. Medina, Dr. Shamir Kazim, Education Supervisor 2 of the CHED Office 9, fellow officers of the Council of Deans of HOSOCOM, dear participants, a pleasant good morning to all of you. Today's webinar with the theme, Transcending Beyond What Was Normal, will help equip higher education institutions, deans, program heads, and coordinators of HOSOCOM in Region 9 to have the responsibility in empowering the respective colleges in grasping and taking shift to what we call the new normal in the transition of education. As our speakers this morning, we'll discuss the different flexible learning modalities and we'll look into the learning capacities of our students and faculties, hence for them to be ready in facing the challenges in education amidst COVID-19 pandemic. In behalf of the Council of Deans of HOSOCOM, dear participants, guests, and Commission on Higher Education officials, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you all to the first webinar. Once again, thank you and good day.
Thank you, ma'am. At this moment, to give us an inspirational message, help me by welcoming Dr. Jacinta Artan, Senior Education Specialist and Chief Education Supervisor. Nakamute siya. Nakamute si Dr.
Okay, good morning once again. At the outset, I would like to greet our Officer in Charge Regional Director, Dr. Rodi P. Garcia, who is now in Pagadian, but he make himself available with these new trends that we have under the new normal. He will be giving us his words of challenges. to Dr. Shamir, the education supervisor for these USUCOM programs, to the officers and members of the newly created USUCOM organization, to all our deans, chairpersons, coordinators, faculty, guests, including our two speakers for this morning. Guests, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to everyone. I am so excited and happy to see your team transcending beyond what was normal. So this is an eye catcher, because usually I was expecting that you will have to indicate new normal, but instead you utilize the word something, what was normal. So the inclination is for the new normal, but I'm so happy that you have utilized this word was normal. That means you prove that education is a commitment. What was before, what is, and what will be is a commitment of excellence in teaching and learning, from traditional face-to-face to the present blended learning on and online learning. You know, just an hour ago, I was watching at the launch of the Philippine CHED Connect. This is an open educational resources platform, or the OERS, which will be accessible and shared to all higher education institutions across the country. This is actually an online portal that contains higher education course materials in text, media, and other digital assets that are useful for teaching, learning, and research program, which this will really be of great help to all of us, especially on the opening of our classes comes August. Now, this is to maximize the use and increase the availability of educational materials, of which I'm inviting all the officers which has the capability to upload in these platforms your modules. So it will increase, it will expand the resources related here in Region 9. We would like to see our region with uploaded educational resources. So this will somehow also raise the quality standards for educational resources by gathering more contributions from your end. At the same time, enhance opportunities for self-learning at home for our students and support learner-centered, self-directed, peer-to-peer and social and formal learning approaches. I am glad for this first webinar series of the Council of Deans for USUCOM Humanities, Social Science, and Communication Program. I've seen your family tree. I was even saying to Dr. Sham, this is really very good how you have presented the officers, which is really unique, and I'm happy to look at as a family tree, because it will eventually grow more, more leaves and all those things. I'm so happy to look at the presentation. That's a very, very good, unique presentations of the officers of this USUCOM. In other words, we would like to educate as one, and I am looking forward for this productive day, for this journey, and I would like to say that you are a very strong and dynamic officers and members, which I am soliciting all your full support, because we would like CHED Regional Office to have also additional strong partners in terms of this organization. Okay, so for that, I will, without much ado, I would say congratulations in advance, and I would say kudos to the officers and, of course, to our Dr. Shamir. So, muchísimas gracias, and God bless us all.
Thank you, Dr. Jacinta Arten, for that very inspiring message. And now, to uplift us in embracing to the new normal educational landscape, help me welcoming Dr. Rody P. Garcia, OIC Regional Director, for his words of challenge.
Anyone? Test, test, test. Test mic, test mic. Can you hear me? I cannot see anyone from the screen.
We can hear you, Dr. Rodi.
Can you hear me? I'm actually in Pagadian right now.
We can hear you, Dr. Rodi.
Anyone who would like to give me signal if you can listen to, if you can hear me this time?
Loud and clear, Doc.
We can hear you, Doc.
So good afternoon, and of course, I would like to thank Supervisor Shamir for accepting the challenge of reorganizing this Council of Deans for use of home. So what we are actually doing in the Commission on Higher Education is to capacitate our higher education institutions. And in your case, we are capacitating the Council of Deans to work independently towards achieving quality higher educations. We do believe on the capability and capacity of our deans in this program, and we do observe the so-called academic freedom. The challenge right now is how we can deliver quality instructions to our learners in the new normal. On our end, we are looking at how your content being delivered directly by using the different platforms available in the field of information technology. These platforms like the Google Class, Blackboard, Edmodo, and others couldn't be that effective if we will not design according to its purpose based on the institutional mission, vision, and goal, as well as based on the program outcomes of the different programs offered by higher education institutions. In short, the Commission on Higher Education would like to see that our higher education institutions can develop a certain unique designed or content-based management programs that is responsive to the needs of our learners this time, and not sacrificing the policies, standards, and guidelines of the different programs. So we want really to see with the Council of Deans as the leading organization in the field of use of home to really guide our higher education institutions in the enhancement and development of the contents in the different programs. On our end, the Commission on Higher Education Regional Office 9, happy to inform you that we developed already our system on how we can assess the different modalities that our higher education institutions are now developing. We have the so-called the online submission of documents and assessment system of the different modules developed by higher education institutions. So this system, we are going to launch it this coming week, probably by Tuesday. You don't need to submit your documents physically to our office, but rather you will just upload your documents directly to our system. Your institutions are already in our system, as well as you will be given the access to our system. wherein all documents will be directed directly to the different supervisors. And at a real time, you can get the feedback as to the assessment and evaluation conducted by our supervisors, individual supervisors. So that's how we innovate in terms of your submission of the documents directly to our office. So it's a virtual submission through our system, as well feedback will be directly sent to your messenger or to your cell phone that you receive certain feedback coming from our end. This particular training that you have would surely help our instructors, professors, as well as other stakeholders on how to develop themselves and enhance their understanding and skills to the so-called new normal. We expect that through this Council of Deans, we will be continuously engage ourselves towards quality and excellent higher education in the region. So with this, I congratulate each one of you for your engagement and continuous engagement and endeavor as partner of the Commission on Higher Education. Thank you, and God bless us all.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Rodi P. Garcia, OIC Regional Director, for your words of challenge. At this juncture, before we proceed to the introduction of our first speaker, allow me to read the rationale of the first topic. Our first topic is about transition to the new normal. This topic is meant to orient the HEI deans and program heads and coordinators of USUCOM programs on the role that they are to assume to let the respective college embark on the new normal in the education paradigm shift. So without further ado, allow me to call in Dr. Robin A. De Los Reyes, Vice President of the Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work Programs, and the Dean of the School of Liberal Arts, and my mentor at the Ateneo de Zamboanga University for the introduction of our first speaker.
Good morning. It is my honor and privilege to introduce to you our first speaker. Our first speaker is a mathematics and statistics expert. He obtained Doctors of Philosophy degree in Management, specialized in education at the Lyceum of the Philippines University, Batangas City, Philippines. In mathematics, units earned in New York University Tandon School of Engineering, New York, USA, and in applied mathematics sciences at the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Cagayan de Oro City, Philippines. He is also a holder of 2 master's degrees in applied mathematical sciences at Mindanao University of Science and Technology in 1999 and MS in mathematics and physics at Xavier University, Ateneo de Cagayan University in 1996. He graduated cum laude with a degree in Bachelor of Secondary Education in Mathematics and has been awarded as College Academic Excellence Award by the College of Education Central Mindanao University, Bukidnon in 1993. He has been a consistent honor student from elementary to high school. Our speaker has been an outstanding student as he has received various academic and non-academic awards here and abroad. He has been a recipient of various scholarship grants and has been recognized for his exemplary performances and academic achievement. Our speaker has also a vast administrative experiences, being a president of the Association of Filipino Teachers and Educators in America, Incorporated, from 2018 to 2021, president of HEXA Center, continuing professional development provider with PRC accreditation number 2017-075 from August 2012 to date. He has been a statistics coordinator in Flushing Science High School, New York, since 2016, an assistant coach for robotics team in Brooklyn, New York, USA, from 2010 to 2012, a math curriculum design specialist, Brooklyn, from 2008 to 2010, a public high school principal in San Juan National High School, San Juan, Balingasag, Misamis Oriental, Philippines, from 1993 to 2003. He has an enormous teaching experience, being a teacher, instructor, and professor in mathematics and physics locally and abroad. He has equivalent licenses, which has given him an edge among the rest, being a holder of a licensed permanent math teacher in New York State, USA since 2003, licensed life agent in New York State, USA since 2012, licensed professional teacher in the Philippines since 1994, and a licensed civil service career in the Philippines since 1993. Friends, please help me welcome our speaker, Dr. Roger P. Querques.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning
Good morning.
to Dr. De Los Reyes for a very nice introduction. To Dr. Yunin, our president of USOCOM. To our officer in charge for the office of the regional director, Dr. Garcia. Our senior education specialist, Dr. Tan, and all the officers and members of the Council of Deans for Humanities, Social Science, and Communication, and most especially to Dr. Shamir, who personally invited me. I am indeed it's my great honor and privilege as one of the speaker for this webinar. So today I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to speak on the transition to the new normal. Okay. Can you see my slide? Is my can someone give me some feedback as whether
We can see your
my
slides,
slide?
Dr.
Okay.
Perkins.
Sir.
Thank you very much. So I may proceed. So transition to the new normal, challenges and opportunities, higher education institutions. So let's look at, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so as an administrator, our overarching our overarching question would be, how do we best provide continuity of education and support services to our faculties and students during this new normal? So let's look at some of the 5 paradigm parameters that I'm going to discuss based on this new normal. The first thing is the legal basis of the new normal. So it's important for all of us to know the legality of why we're doing this in the higher education institutions. Second, I'm going to discuss some modes of delivery of instructions. Third, the new normal strategies of higher education institutions. Fourth, the guidelines for successful online education. And lastly, technology-based support system. So let's start with the legal basis. Of course, Republic Act 7722, which was passed in 1994, creating the Commission on Higher Education. And the following year, CHED Order number 27 was issued, crafting the policies and guidelines on distance education. Likewise, the CHED Memorandum Order Number 27 of 2005 updated policies and guidelines on distance education. And in 2014, we have the Republic Act 10650, which is an act expanding access to educational services by institutionalizing open distance learning and levels of tertiary education. On top of that, we also have CHED Memorandum Order Number 55, Series of 2016, uh, giving us the policy framework and strategies on the internationalization of Philippine higher education. And also in 2016, CHED Memorandum Number 62, the policies, standards, and guidelines for transnational education programs. And indeed, in 2018, we have the Philippine Qualification Framework under Republic Act 10968. And finally, we have the Republic Act 11448, an act expanding access to educational services through the establishment and administration of transnational education in 2019. So the last Republic Act is a lofty goal. So I believe one of the criteria for an institution to have expanding access outside is to be autonomous. So those are some of the legal basis. Now, let's look at Republic Act 10650. This Republic Act in Section 9 tells us the modes of delivery of instruction. So there it emphasizes four different modes. One is print, based on textbooks, study guides, workbooks, course syllabi, correspondence, feedback, and other print formats. We also use audiovisual, stated therein for radio, audio cassettes, slides, films, video cassettes, television, telephone, fax, audio conferencing, and likewise this one, which is video conferencing. The third mode of delivery is electronic or computer technology and virtual classroom through internet, CD-ROM, electronic mail, e-bulletin, podcast, e-learning, iLectures, e-learning or online learning management systems. And of course, lastly, the face-to-face sessions conducted in learning and study centers. So there are four different modes. Now, each of those modes are not mutually exclusive. They can be used blendedly. So let's look at those modes of um, the new normal strategies. So as an administrator, we want to look at what would be our strategies. HEIs may implement the transition of all in-class instruction to online or other remote teaching modalities that do not require in-class presence, or you can also use blended learning. So some of your students may be those who cannot afford, for example, the technologies needed for online learning. You may use a different format or platform because it's very difficult for a professor to assume that all of his or her students has all those capacities. Individual departments, colleges, and universities should provide all material assistance and accommodation possible to faculty and students throughout this transition. Third, that higher education institutions and their extension campuses should remain open and operational for students. This includes residence halls, dining services, computer labs, and most of their campus services. Employees and faculties will continue to report to work unless instructed otherwise or work from home accommodations, such as developed in individual cases. So you can do, some faculties may have some scheduling, so you can do 50% maybe of your faculty to report on a given or particular day, while the rest will be doing it at home online. So because the new normal, especially if it is already back to normal, some of our students may opt to go to the campus, to go to the libraries. So it is up for the deans and the department chairs to put some schedules to the faculties on who's going to be reporting on that day to the school campus or who won't be. The fourth strategy is to protect public health. Campuses should implement appropriate social distancing measures in line with the Department of Health guidelines and additional recommendations by their government authorities. This should include restrictions on large lectures, theater performances, academic conferences, and other large gatherings. So let me give you some examples. Here in New York City, uh, we use, some of our faculty use Zoom and they do their physical education online. And so at first it is cumbersome, but eventually kids were performing individually and the professors or the teacher was able to finish his or her curriculum. So those are some of the normal strategies that we can implement in our respective institutions. Now, we have some guidelines for creating successful online education. First guideline is to make it as a group effort, meaning because of this new normal, it is important for each department or each college to cooperate and help. Faculty members need training on how to design and teach an online courses, as well as they have to be collaborative. You cannot just do it by yourself. You have to have, maybe you pair with 2 or 3 faculty members to create online lessons. Now, focus on active learning. Now, a mix of discussions, collaborations, video and audio clips, hands-on exercises with text and possible brief videos. So when we are designing our lessons, and if it is online, so sometimes live teaching is, we have to be careful on live teaching. It's not all the time that, okay, we can do all live teaching and then everybody would go there. There will be glitches along the way as you do your online teaching. Some students may not be able to come in. They may have audio or video problems. And when you do active learning, you allow sometimes your students to turn off their camera. And sometimes students would show up, um, their hair is not good, you know. So if they wanted to turn off their camera, it's fine. If they wanted to turn off their what we call their microphone, it's fine. But make sure that you're going to monitor their presence in the classroom or during the time that you're teaching. Okay. Say, for example, during a discussion, you may ask that student whose microphone as well as the video that is turned off to respond, because sometimes, based on our experiences here, some of the students leave the online platform. So if I use Google Meet, if I will use sometimes active learning, some of them will just like, okay, they left, and I allow them to turn off their camera. I allow them to turn off their microphone. However, do not let them just, slip through. That's one of the guidelines for being a successful online education. The third one, chunk the lessons. Now, sometimes as a professor, we're so excited to give the students our lessons, but it's overwhelming on their part, be it in classroom, in face-to-face situation, or especially online. Now, these kids can multitask, but presenting information in maybe 10, 20, or 30 minutes is too much. Maybe the maximum of 20. 10 to 20 is better. And designing lessons with photographs, of course. Students can see examples of what is in the text and incorporating color into their section titles. So another guidelines is to keep group sizes small. Now, this is a problem if you have PE, for example, because in most cases we have large students. So as much as possible in large lecture halls, some students never participate in the discussions or ask questions, usually because they are either shy or not engaged, or it can be intimidating on their part to participate. Now, during online, it is also recommended to have 20 to 30 students only. Okay, so do not maximize. If you are doing it online, live teaching, do not. It should not be more than 30 students. It's very difficult to manage those 30 students, and especially if you are doing some kind of live teaching. So some of them may just um, turn off their camera. They think that they are what we call listening to you, but they are actually not. So be proactive while doing the live teaching and make sure that those students are engaged. The fifth guidelines, be present. Okay. This is what I said. Instructors should have social presence on their online classrooms and engage students to do the same. As I said, allow students to turn off their camera and microphone, but you have to monitor them constantly. Now, based on my experience and some of the experiences of some faculties who were doing online, um, some students may show up, you know, uh, from their bedroom. Now, all of those things are hanging around in their bedrooms. We have to make sure, tell the students or at the beginning of our live online teaching to observe etiquette, proper etiquette, meaning they have to have formal casual dresses or shirts. Don't allow them to show up and wear their, sleeveless or whatever. All their, it's this is a formal. Still, it is a formal instruction. You cannot allow them to show up, and all of this hunky t-shirts or wearing short pants. So that's one of the etiquettes that we should observe as we do live teaching. Of course, teachers, we have to be presentable as we teach to our students. And it's also, do not allow yourself to be live all the time. You know, so that's the reason why there should be a tandem between 10 to at least 15 to 20 minutes of lecture, and the rest will be discussions. Do not put yourself uh, on camera all the time. It's okay to turn off your camera. It's okay to tell them like, I'm going to turn off my camera. It's okay that you will sometimes turn off your microphone so that you will be able to observe, but make sure that you're going to monitor them as you do that. And please, if you're going to excuse yourself, you turn off your camera, you turn off your microphone, and sometimes you go to the bathroom. Some students would, call you, and maybe they know that you are not there. So it is important that while you're doing some online classes, and if you're doing that at home, you make sure that you are going to also observe proper protocols or decorum. The sixth one, so parse your time, meaning you manage your time in a reasonable way. As teachers, we're not liable to be there or available to be there for our students 24/7. Okay? Don't turn your class into a one-on-one interaction with 30 students. Institutions may think that the faculty needs to respond to everything each student posts online. That's not the way it is. Faculties, professors need break. I will be like as a professor, as a teacher, you're going to teach the students according to that limited time. Okay? Sometimes, based on our experience, we are bombarded with so many questions, which such that the students would eat our time, meaning they want you to respond immediately. So again, don't be available 24/7. And then don't give assignments in advance. Some of the students, like if you have 2 or 3 assignments, some of the students will do all of those assignments before the deadline immediately or before the end of the week. So partial time also follow with the timing in giving assignments, in giving problem sets, for example. Do not give them all the problem sets. Let them do one at a time. The seventh guidelines is embrace multimedia assignments. So meaning professors should allow students to use digital tools for their assignments. While it's quicker to grade papers than to review student-produced videos or PowerPoints, many students prefer to use multimedia, especially nowadays. So it would be better for us professors to accept different modes of the way they express modalities of their work. So allow them. For example, in math, uh, if you have a problem that you posted, be it in Google Classroom or whatnot, let them take a picture and send it to you on your official school address or email address. Okay, so our guidelines, there are 7 guidelines. Let's look at the summary. Make it a group effort as a team. So in this new normal, do not do all by yourself. Pair it with a team, maybe 2 or 3 to collaborate each other. Focus on active learning. When you are doing live teaching, for example, make sure that those students are participating actively. Chunk the lessons, keep the group sizes small, be present, parse your time. You are not available for your students 24/7. You embrace multimedia assignments. All right, so the last um, parameters that I'm going to discuss is the technology-based support systems. Now, we are using Zoom in most cases for faculty and webinars, faculty meetings, webinars, but we know that Zoom is a little bit expensive if it is used by the professors for his or her live teaching. Zoom, if you have enough budget, you use Zoom to conduct your live teaching. However, subscriptions, remember that Zoom is only free for 45 minutes. If you're going to subscribe, then it is at your own risk to spend money for the subscription. Google Meet is also one of the platforms. where you can do your meeting and live teaching. Okay. Other forms of platform would be Edmodo. We also have other learning management systems like Blackboard, Canvas, and Moodle. Uh, Google Classroom and Nearpad are two of the Google Classroom is free, so that's why if you are a teacher, an educator who don't have any um, available resources yet, I would recommend to use Google Classroom because it's free, and of course, the Google Meet that comes with it in the Gmail or in Google is free. If you use Google Meet, you have unlimited access of time. Now, you also put your documents in the drive so that you can share that documents to your students. You can create your Google Docs, forms, and if you wanted to do your own website, you can use the Google websites to create your own website. So maximize. I'm not recommending 100% to Google Classroom, but based on experiences with other faculties here in New York, most of us were using Google Classroom. And it is very simple. Maybe one or two of those training, you will be able to harness its capacity. Of course, with Google Classrooms, you can store your PDF file book. You can store your quizzes. You can store all other documents that is needed so that if a student is absent, he or she will be able to retrieve what was the lesson, what was the work in the previous weeks. And of course, creation of a website through weebly.com. That's aside from Google Sites, we can also do creation of website through Weebly. Now, those Weebly, of course, you can create superb website for your own classroom or for your own courses. Those are free. And you can create those stunning websites from Weebly for free. It's a matter of training to do that particular website creation. If a certain educator would want it to. Okay, so those are the things that that I have shared to you all, and I hope that you get something out of it. If you have some questions, feel free to shoot now.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Roger P. Querques, President of the Association of Filipino Teachers and Educators in America Incorporated. Thank you, sir, for the very comprehensive and insightful discussion on the new normal strategies. And at this point in time, I think our participants are so eager to raise their queries. So if you have questions there, you may click the hand raise function for me to acknowledge you. And we are reminded that in as much as we would like to entertain all of your questions, but we are only given 10 to 15 minutes to carry out our open forum because we also have another open forum later for our second speaker. So is there anyone who would like to ask question or clarifications? Please click the hand raise function. Or you can also communicate through the R group chat.
Dr. Ravi,
Yes, sir.
for those who are asking if the PowerPoint presentation will be shared to us, yes, it will be shared to us, and I am going to upload it in our FB group.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sha. Any question? to our first speaker, Dr. Roger P. Quercus. Anyone? No one would like to ask, so I think the discussion was comprehensible. Again, if you want to raise your question, please click the hand raise function, or you may communicate with me through group chat. Any queries coming from the participants? Coming from the officers of the Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work Programs? Any question, ma'am or sir? Or remarks, if you may?
If there are no questions, ma'am, I think we can already proceed with the second speaker because there will be someone who will be giving an impression later.
Okay.
Thank you.
So before we proceed to the introduction of our second speaker, we need to break the monotony. So we will be entertained by an intermission number coming from Mr. Jeremiah L. Saavedra, a senior high school teacher from the Department of Education and the Voice 2016 Grand Champion.
Hello everyone, my name is Jeremiah L. Saavedra, a Deputy Senior High School teacher from Zamboanga City Division. I was requested by Dr. Shamir Kasim to do a song number for this webinar, and I'd like to dedicate this song to all the deans and program heads of USUCOM programs for HEIs in Region 9. I hope you like this one. Times get rough and your dreams just fall apart, and sometimes you feel that you can't go on. Be strong, hold on, for my love will keep you warm through the coldest night, through the rain, through the storm. When friends turn their backs on you and you're so helpless you don't know what to do, I'll be on your side to comfort you. My love will see you through. When tears are in your eyes and you feel like you wanna cry, just reach out and I'll be around to understand. When you stumble and fall and you need a shoulder to lean on, all you have to do is call and I'll be there with a helping hand. When the road seems so long and endless, and all you see is nothing but dark. your star. When you cross the deepest sea, when you climb the highest hill, my love will always be with you in everything you do, in every step you make, in every road you take. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams, for my love will see you through. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jeremiah L. Saavedra, for that wonderful vocal rendition. And thank you for sharing to us your natural endowment in singing. So at this juncture, before we proceed to the introduction of our second speaker, allow me to read the rationale of our second topic. Our second topic is about online learning platforms. This topic is meant to orient the HEI deans and program heads and coordinators of USUCUM programs on the different available platform of learning in the internet and integration of online teaching and learning capacities of faculty and students respectively. So without further ado, allow me to call in Dr. Julieta C. Cebrero, auditor of this organization and the Dean of the School of Arts and Sciences at J.H. Sevillas State College.
Good morning, everyone. My task this morning is to introduce our second speaker. Our second speaker is currently the Director of the Management Information System and Institute of Technical Education of Universidad de Zamboanga. She has a strong foundation in teaching and management information system. She is currently taking Masters of Education in Alternative Learning System at the University of Southeastern Philippines, USIP, Davao City. She is a licensed teacher and a civil service eligible. She has national certificates in events management, 2D and 3D animation, computer system servicing, and in technical drafting. She has also earned an industry certification as Certified Google Innovator in 2014 and Google Basics for Teaching in the same year. She has served as the Community Manager of Google Developers Group Zamboanga City Chapter from 2014 to date and a member of Google Certified Innovators for Southeast Asia from 2014 to present. She has various international engagements and fellowships attended in Australia, Thailand, California, USA, Sri Lanka, and Indonesia. In 2014, she was awarded as Exceptional Innovator by Universidad de Zamboanga. Please help me welcome our second speaker, Professor Yulin E. Medina.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. So I'll share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay na po.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, isn't present. Okay. So, good morning, SED 9 officers and personnel, especially to Dr. Shamir Kasim, and also to our active participants, the deans and program chairs of USUCOM. So, I'm very happy and glad that I'm here right now with you. I know you're all very distinguished with your respective careers, and it's very much my honor to share with you what I know in terms of online platform or online learning platform. So good morning once again, and I hope you have started the day on a good mood, and I'm very happy also that I'm sharing this platform with also another distinguished speaker. So my topic for today is online learning platform. So I'm Yolene Envina, and I'm a certified innovator. I really focused during my early career. I really focused on honing my skills in terms of technology. My passion is on education and technology. Although I'm a computer engineering graduate, I also took up education units. That's why I also earned my license in as a professional teacher. But my heart really is on uh, bridging the divide between education and technology. Okay, so I'd like to first share with you this slide. This slide contains the quote that the students of the future will demand the learning support that is appropriate for their situation of context. Nothing more, nothing less. And they want it at the moment the need arises, not sooner nor not later. And mobile devices will be a key technology to providing that learning support. So that's by Dr. Marcus Specht, the professor of advanced learning technologies in the Open University of Netherlands. Okay, so I'm showing this to you. I know this is very familiar with probably with your kids or with your grandkids, and you every day when you are at home, you ask them how's your day at school. They usually just don't tell much because uh, they express themselves more freely probably in social media like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. These are all platforms that our kids, now our learners, are very comfortable in using. So others, like they put it, their diaries, they put it in a blog format. No? So parents nowadays sometimes complain. I don't know whether if you also feel the same. They usually say, ang anak ko hindi na masyadong nag-communicate the way they used to when they were still younger because they feel mas komportable ang mga kids nila in telling whatever feelings they have in the online platform. So us, the older generation, need to also adopt because our children and their generation are our learners. Okay, so I'd like to make this presentation a little bit more engaging. I hope you have you can go to menti.com and you can probably minimize a little bit this Zoom and then go to menti.com and please do enter the code 194187, or if you have your smartphones with you while you are watching this webinar or participating in this webinar, please go to menti.com and then enter the code 194187. I would like to know what are your thoughts when you hear the words online learning platforms. I'll give you siguro a minute to use your phone and go to menti.com para malaman po natin kung ano po yung inyong ano yung inyong thoughts when you hear online learning platform. Later on, we will go back to Menti and then check out if tama ba yung mga natutunan nyo, or is it really in line yung mga ideas that you have when you hear the word online platform. Okay? So I'll proceed now. I hope you were able to jot the code. Okay. So next is I'd like to discuss synchronous and asynchronous modalities or execution. Synchronous and asynchronous applies in a lot of areas, no, even in programming. So pag sinabi natin synchronous, you need to, as you can see in the illustration, you need to wait for a response. But in asynchronous, no need to get a response before you can reply, you can continue working, then probably get the reply at a later time. So to have a good grasp, that's the reason why I shared the synchronous and asynchronous topic in online learning platform is because for us to have a good understanding in online learning platforms, we must understand this too. No? So for synchronous execution, synchronous or synchronized means connected or dependent in some way. So when we execute something synchronously, you wait for it to finish before moving on to another task. So mag-iintayan, no? That's like when we are talking, kailangan magsalita ako, then I will hear another, then the other person will need first to listen to me bago sa sumagot. So that's synchronous. Okay. In other words, synchronous execution means the execution happens in a single series. So single series siya. When a task is executed synchronously, you wait for a task to be completed before moving on to another task. So kailangan mag-wait muna siya. Yon. So and asynchronous, when you execute something asynchronously, you can move on to another task before it finishes. So parang tayo din, parang si Mommy, no, nagmo-multitask habang nag-iintay ng matapos ang nilalaban sa washing machine, she can wash the dishes and probably cook. Yun. So asynchronous process, on the other hand, do not have to start and end point synchronized, I mean. So when a task is executed asynchronously, you can directly switch to another task before the previous has been completed. One task is not dependent on the other. So yun yung asynchronous. Siguro ngayon you can remember some of your tasks that you're conducting online, and then you can now identify a little bit, or probably alam nyo na rin yung ano yung synchronous and asynchronous. Okay, so in another way of defining it is that synchronously means using the same clock, parehong oras kailangan. So when two instructions are synchronous, they use the same clock and must happen one after the other. So yon. So asynchronous naman means not using the same clock. So the instructions are not connected with being in step with each other. Probably nagsalita yung isa, may binigay na instructions sa umaga, si teacher, si student naman, sa gabi niya matatanggap ang instructions, and sa gabi niya rin gagawin yung kanyang whatever instruction the teacher asked him or her to do. And then, following day or after 2 days, tsaka ma-check ni teacher yung gawa. So these are asynchronous way of engagement. Okay, so now we go to the definition of online learning platform. So learning platform, nilagyan lang kasi natin yung talagang root word, yung dalawang important words dito ay learning and platform. And online anyway is really modality, no? Nilagay lang natin yung learning platform natin online. So learning platform is an integrated set of interactive online services that provide teachers, learners, parents, and others involved in education with information, tools, and resources to support and enhance educational delivery and management. So in my own words, ang definition ko ng online learning platform, it's a package of online tools used for learning. It doesn't necessarily need to be one product. Kasi yung iniisip ng iba, pag online platform, isang product lang siya, yung ganon. So, but in my experience and on my definition, I have learned that the online learning platform is a combination of the different tools one community or one school uses officially. So, kailangan po, pag sa school nyo, officially, kayo po ang magbibigay sa inyong colleagues or para sa inyong staff and your faculty that these are our official learning tools. And the composition of those tools comprises your online learning platform. So yun po yung ating definition for online learning platform. I hope I was able to let you understand, no? Okay, so next naman, siyempre tayo may questions. You are all deans and heads of different colleges, and probably you have a lot of questions, especially when we had the pandemic, and medyo tuliru lahat on how to start. So, ang iniisip ngayon ng mga heads is, ano ba yung tools na kailangan gamitin which is appropriate for your own community, or especially meaning your own school. So, ang question ngayon is lies on different aspects wherein you need to really check out each of your processes and also do a series of activities. Okay, so I know a lot of schools when pandemic came, they had also a lot of difficulties. So meron silang dilemma. So on my end, I listed some basic tools or probably basic steps for you to probably take into consideration for you to, kung gusto nyong i-follow, and probably this might be helpful for you and for your school, paano nyo ma-choose kung anong online learning platform yung mas appropriate for you. First is you need to check with your community kung ano ba yung commonly used yung common na ginagamit na technology tool or online tools ng inyong community or yun ng mga schools ng school nyo. Meaning ano palaging ginagamit ng teachers natin, palaging ginagamit ng students natin. So yon. So because familiarity is very important, that would ease up the adjustment kung familiar na yung inyong faculty and students, no? Okay. Next is you need to also do an assessment through a survey. So para meron po tayong hindi pinanghahawakang evidence on what really are the tools that are needed, you need to conduct a survey. Baka nag-survey na rin po kayo. You conducted surveys on Google Forms or Microsoft Forms. Those are the needs assessment survey that you really need as basis for your decision making. So next naman is iisipin natin, kailangan another consideration is magkano siya. So your tool must be cost efficient. If it's free, it's the better. So kung may fund naman si school, okay lang kasi mas kaya namang bayaran ni school. But the reality is kung kahit na may kaya ni school magbayad ng learning tools or learning platform, kung hindi adjusted pa si faculty and students, mahihirapan pa rin. Remember, if you would like to engage in a new product or new application, kailangan you have a strong tech support team. No? Kailangan marami kayong academic support team that acts like IT support to every teacher and the students to provide assistance to them kung hindi marunong pa si teacher masyadong mag-Google Classroom or mag-Edmodo or mag-Schoology, kailangan merong mag-a-assist sa kanila kasi dalawa na ang binibigyan natin ng assistance nowadays. Number one is obviously the faculty. Kasi kailangan ilagay ang kanilang mga modules online. They need to put their modules in their learning management system. And next is the student. We don't want the students to be traumatized in a way that it's a new environment and then no one really taught them how to use that environment. So kailangan ma-orient din si student. So kailangan familiarity with the product. Next is cost. It must be cost efficient. So the lesser the cost, the better. So and then next is kailangan robust siya. So it might be cheap but it should not be lousy as a product. Kailangan dependable or reliable ang product na gagamitin nyo as tools, no? Para hindi tayo napapahiya sa ating colleagues. Okay. And another is it should have a fun and interaction feature para engaging siya. sa mga sa community natin or sa school, those who are part of your schools, no? Okay. So next naman is, in reality, as you can see sa both, in reality, we need to strike a balance between the two for us to have a successful learning experience online for our learners and obviously for our teachers as well. Depending on the learning objective, learners can benefit both from synchronous and asynchronous learning. Each offers its bright sides, and of course, it has also their own drawbacks, no? Okay. So next naman is, punta na tayo sa pag-identify ng technology according to their category. So, pag nakakakita kayo na ngayon ng technology, kailangan ng first thing na maiisip nyo, ito synchronous to. Or pag makita naman naman, ito asynchronous to. So kailangan marunong na kayo mag-identify kung anong category nagfo-fall yung technology tool na gagamitin nyo or ginagamit nyo. Okay. This is actually, ito din yung naging struggle ko before. Marami akong alam na technology but I was also having a hard time parang managing it because or choosing whatever I need to choose because I was not able to identify first which of them are synchronous and which ones are asynchronous. Okay, so we must learn how to identify them. So next natin. So ngayon, I'm now giving you the examples or which ones are falls under synchronous and which ones falls under asynchronous. So kung audio or video conferencing siya, kagaya ngayon, we're doing it via Zoom, it's synchronous. Di ba po? So you also will be probably attending web conferences, okay? And then we have voice chats. So pag nagchat-chat, di ba, voice chat siya, ibig sabihin kailangan mo ng bago ka mag-reply, kailangan mapakinggan mo muna. So just like in calls, voice chats happens in Skype, other Viber, yan. Okay, WhatsApp, and even Facebook Messenger. So whiteboards, I don't know if you're familiar with whiteboards, but there are a lot of whiteboard tools in the internet that's kahit online siya, pwede mo siyang gamitin. Para ka lang din nasa klase, nagtuturo ka, feeling mo, may whiteboard ka rin sinusulatan. But this needs tools like kailangan si teacher merong stylus, may iPad, may stylus, or probably Android tablet, and then may stylus para yung freehand writing will still be visible. Hindi yung yung structured text na kagaya ng what you're seeing right now. Kasi meron siyang personal, parang stroke of personal attachment to having for students seeing their teachers seeing the handwriting of their teachers in the online platform. Di ba iba yun pag nakita niya si teacher, wow, si teacher yung writing niya, naaalala ko pa rin, gano'n. So, another is real-time document sharing. So, this is possible through Google Docs. Yan. Habang nag-i-edit si member 1, nag-i-edit din si member 2. So, this is real-time document sharing. And also gamification apps like menti.com. Kanina kung nag-participate kayo sa menti.com, that's a gamification app. So yon. So synchronous din siya kasi kailangan ma-input nyo na ngayon yung inyong reply para po makita ko agad kung ano yung nag-reply nyo. And then for asynchronous naman, we have email. This is my favorite tool actually, yung email. Kasi I can conduct business dealings through email. And kahit hindi naman tayo nakikita, kahit nakaupo lang ako or kahit using my cell phones, I can still do formal transactions via email. And then next is yung podcast, which is gaining ground right now. Yung parang siyang radio station pero recorded. So yon. So podcast, and we also have recorded videos. If later on nire-record to ni Sir Shams and probably sent to you, or any other recorded video that you are seeing via YouTube. So yon, asynchronous yon. And you also have learning management system, which is it's also a package wherein all all the modalities like yung pagbibigay nyo ng pag-recitation nyo through discussion boards, yung inyo ding pagbibigay ng assessment, nandun na siya, pag-grade nyo, nandun na rin, yung pagpapas ng project, nandun na rin po. So kaya sikat na sikat ngayon ng LMS. Okay, next is we have the non-real-time sharing. Google Docs can be both real-time and non-real-time. So pwedeng share ko lang yung document but you don't need to edit it. So non-real-time document sharing yan. So gamification apps can also has its own asynchronous aspect. So merong gamification na pwede sa synchronous, meron din sa asynchronous. Yan. So ngayon, nalilito na for example, nalilito na sila teachers or sila heads. Ano ba talaga ang pipiliin namin? Okay, so among the tools, I didn't put any logo here. I will just say it to you. Anyway, the presentation will be shared to you by Dr. Sham. So among the tools, I will concentrate on the learning management system. So ngayon, alam na natin yung synchronous and asynchronous, pero among those tools, ang di-discuss ko talaga is yung learning management system. I will discuss this briefly kasi marami siyang nitty-gritty, but since I am also limited by time, i-share ko kung anong alam ko about learning management system. So, learning management system, kagaya sinabi ng first speaker natin, is marami siya, no? There are a lot of products, but I have categorized them according to what I know and my experience para alam nyo rin kung ano yung possible na gagamitin nyo. Okay, so for secondary level, tertiary level, and graduate school, Blackboard, Moodle, Schoology, Edmodo, and Google Classroom are good for use, no? Pwede nyo gamitin siya. For primary level, medyo mahirap siyang i-implement yung Google Classroom and the others, no? So there's a specific I can only identify two, but I know there's a lot more. For primary level, pwede kayong gumamit ng Quipper. I know familiar na kayo dito or narinig nyo na siya. You can use Quipper or CISO. So CISO is widely used in the States and other countries, pero I don't see anybody yet or any school that are focusing on primary level using CISO. So yon, again, for primary level, it's Quipper and CISO, and for college or in high school, senior high school, kaya na nila ng Blackboard, ng Canva, ng Moodle, and the Edmodo, Schoology, and Google Classroom. So among those, may bayad si Blackboard, Blackboard, and si Canvas. Okay. So yung ginagamit po namin sa school namin is Google Classroom. So you can use now Google Classroom. Kung wala po kayong EDU domain, you can go to classroom.google.com. You can just use your free gmail.com. So yung inyong gmail.com, you have their 15 gigabytes na free from Google. The good thing about the EDU account is unlimited po siya. So again, kahit ilang tera pa dyan, kayang-kaya niya. So the space is not really a problem. I know that Google Classroom and the G Suite for Education is part of the CSR program of Google. So when I found out about these initiatives last 2012, I became very active and eventually got a lot of opportunities to travel abroad and have training. So ito po yung pinag-aabalahan ko for how many years, and I'm very glad that a lot of people siguro this is the silver linings po ng pandemic is that a lot of people are now getting interested in using educational platforms like Google Classroom. So, ang Google Classroom, nung unang-una, ayaw na pasabi ng iba, or they don't want to define it as a learning management system, but they want to define it as a free web service for schools. So, I don't know if it's something, what happened with that, pero they just call it before as free web service tool. So eventually right now, wala nang nagrereklamo na learning management system ang category ng Google Classroom. Kasi when pandemic came, almost, I think talaga ang dami-dami ng majority of the schools, even abroad and here in the Philippines, immediately use Google Classroom. Okay, so sa Google Classroom, ang suggestion ko, if you will go to use Google Classroom in your own schools, is for you to first be familiar with the other cloud services that are also integrated in Google Classroom. So kailangan may steps po. So lahat naman tayo marunong na Google search. Pero I realized that there are a lot of people who doesn't know the tips and tricks of Google search, pero marunong na sila ng ibang products. So I'm encouraging you to look into search Google for Google search tips and tricks para po makita nyo kung ano pa yung power ni Google search, no? So after that, you try to learn and kung pwede, be familiar and be an expert in Gmail, and then eventually go to Google Drive. Sa Google Drive, ang Google Drive, I always call Google Drive as our USB on the cloud. So right now kasi I rarely na lang ako nagdadala ng USB because all my files are already in Google Drive. So I don't feel nervous in case I forgot any of my gadgets. I just go to one computer, kung available siya, tapos login ko yung account ko, then I can get my files. So ganun ka ganda yung modality ng pag-access ng files natin sa Google Drive. So you can get more you can learn more about the feature if you go online and search for it. So sa Google Docs naman, this came by an adjustment with some kasi sanay na sanay po tayo, especially tayo mga educators sa Microsoft. Sanay na sanay po tayo sa Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and the likes, no? So sa Google Drive po, in Google Drive, you can create several files and some of them are, to name them, it's Google Docs. Google Docs is the alternative of MS Word. Google Sheet is the alternative of Excel. And Google Slides is the alternative of PowerPoint. And in addition, si Google Hangouts is like parang Messenger, no? And then Google Meet naman is parang Zoom. Yan. Okay, so yun po yung ating kailangan munang intindihin thoroughly before po tayo gumamit ng deeper ng Google Classroom para po hindi ma-shock kasi I know especially based from experience, some of the students, even the teachers, so it was their first time to use Google Classroom, ang ginawa na medyo na-shock sila, yung mga hindi masyadong techie, medyo na-shock sa paggamit. So but that's why I'm suggesting that you go sabi nga ni Doc kanina, parse tayo, no? So ngayon yung learning din natin, kailangan dahan-dahan, step by step. You go first to Google search, kailangan alam niyo, maging advanced user kayo ng Google search, then you go to Gmail, be familiar with the features, all the features of Gmail if possible, then go to Google Drive and be familiar with Google Drive. Then you go to Google Hangouts and Google Meet. Then you go to the other like Google Classroom na. So anyway, yung Google Calendar, meron din silang Google Calendar where you can also schedule your synchronous sessions and asynchronous sessions para organize si teacher. Okay, so next I'd like to share to you maybe you'd like to note down the URL. It's skillshop.exceedlms.com. So I'll try to kita po ba? Okay, so kung hindi po kayo masyadong familiar nga sa mga tools na sinabi ko kanina, you might want to upskill yourself and go to this website para po meron kayong guide. This is a good initiative from Google to help educators transition and adjust in the distance learning modality. So please go to this para at least later on kung may oras po kayo, you have, for example, spare time like 1 hour every night, then you go to this website and check out, ay, okay, marunong na ako mag Google Classroom, marunong na ako mag Google Drive. Yan po. Okay, so it's a one-stop shop for every kind of learner who wants to succeed with Google professional tools and solutions. They have incorporated gamification to make it interesting for teachers who wants to enhance their technology skills. Yan. Okay, we're nearing the end, no? So, another tip that I'd like to share to you is based also on our experience and probably in your experience as well. When pandemic came, medyo magulo, no? So lahat po kasi parang we were taken aback, naku, paano ba to? So we found out that we really need to craft an etiquette guide for each of our schools. Kailangan may policy tayo or guidelines on how to conduct the conduct of ourselves. Si teacher, paano siya mag-act, paano din si students. As you can see, during pandemic, ang dami po ng estudyanteng nagre-rant, marami po kayong natatanggap probably na complaints, concerns, mga gayon. So, and then their avenue of telling you the concern is yung social media platform. So you might want, we're not limiting their freedom of speech, but we want them to know that this is the guide, this is a guide for you to follow before sila mag-rant sa another platform ng social media. They might want to follow first these rules for them to be to understand, no, kung ano yung ginagawa ng school, kung ano yung processes, kasi minsan hindi lang sila aware sa processes. Okay, so much like traditional etiquette, this which provides rules of conduct in social situations, the purpose of etiquette is to help construct and maintain a pleasant, comfortable, and efficient environment for online communication. So this is to avoid placing strain on the system and generating conflict among others. So ayaw natin ng conflict. So we want to have a pleasant experience online. So both for the teacher and the students, ayaw natin ma-stress si teacher masyado, ayaw din natin ng stress si student. So everybody will have a good or positive experience while conducting classes online or while learning online. So I also want to promote that you also need to also inform your students that they also should practice digital citizenship. So yun. Okay, so ano ba yung digital citizenship? So digital citizenship involves the use of internet and social media in a more responsible way. So ayaw natin may nag-aaway sa social media, ayaw po natin ng ng bad words or probably nilalabas nila yung personal problems nila nasa social media na. So these are not appropriate way for them to also practice their own expression, no? So with freedom comes responsibility. So we want them to know that digital citizenship involves responsibility. And next is we have also digital leadership. So digital leadership, on the other hand, is the use of internet and social media with the aim to improve the lives and well-being of others. So all of you deans and program chairs are digital leaders. So we want to be an example to our students and our colleagues that we are online. We're also the kind of responsible leaders we are while we are seeing each other face to face. Okay, so yun po. We might that is the end of the content of my slide. If you have questions, please also go to menti.com and then, or probably si Mama mamaya, no, may mag-open forum din tayo, so I'll proceed na lang next. Okay, I'd like to end my presentation with this quote. Okay, so there can be infinite series of computer and of new technology in training, but if the instructors themselves are not able to bring it to the learners and make it work, then it fails. So kailangan po may connection tayo sa students natin using technology. You all have the content. You are very good and are already experts in your leagues. So mas maganda ngayon is matutunan natin paano natin gagamitin ang tool ng technology for you to be able to teach or to be able to mentor and to be able to transfer the knowledge and the learning to your students. So this quote is by U.S. Senator Nancy Kasambong. Okay, so that ends my presentation. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you to CHED Region 9 officials and personnel, especially Dr. Shamir again, Cassie, for the opportunity, and also to the heads and different schools and colleges for listening. I hope you learned something from what I shared. So again, muchísimas gracias and God bless everyone.
Okay, thank you, Professor Yulin E. Medina, Director of Information Technology Education at Universidad de Zamboanga. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your precious time and distinctive expertise on the different online learning platforms. So at this point in time, we are down to our open forum. So if you have questions, queries, again, please click your hand raise function. I think I'd like to begin, Professor Medina. Allow me to ask a question.
Yes.
My concern is the location of our school. MSU Buog is located at Buog, Zamboanga, Sibugay. And most of our students are coming from remote areas, far-flung areas, where the internet connection is quite impassable or poor. And so what particular learning management system would you suggest in order for us to underpin the educational needs of our students and at the same time be considerate with the kind of poor internet connection that they are having?
Okay. Okay, my question now is, before I answer that, I have a question para at least I will know the situation. Yung internet po ba sa Buok, meron siya or very poor lang talaga? And
we have good connection in Buog. We have PLDT here, Globe, and Smart. But the problem is some of our students are not coming from Buog. They are from remote areas.
Okay.
So
yung question, ma'am, is on how to help the students who are residing in remote areas. Tama po ba?
Yes, ma'am. What particular LMS that is more appropriate for us to use to cater our students who are coming from far-flung areas?
Okay. So the question now is, yung sa far-flung areas, if may internet sila, what kind of tool, what kind of apps do they use? What kind of apps can they use while they are in that remote area? For example, based on experience, ma'am, some of our students in the remote areas, ang accessible lang sa kanila, Facebook.
Yes, ma'am.
O, tama po ba? So, I think it's all also applicable to all the others, no? Kasi may free data pa. So, Facebook, and obviously, they also have access to Messenger. So, in reality, what we used was those tools. Kasi yun lang talagang ang pwede nilang gamitin. But you need to also, so if that will be I think that those are appropriate tools for them. But you need to also identify, just to separate them both. Kasi minsan magkakaroon na magre-reklamo yung ibang nasa urban area. So sabihin nila, bakit si remote area student and ito lang ang binigay ni ma'am? And obviously, there will be some questions in the grading system and assessment modality as well. Kasi iba yung approach mo kay remote area and iba din yung approach mo with the ones in the urban who has good internet connection. So that should be, I think, laid out during the start of your classes. Facebook Messenger is a very good tool for communication. Kasi ang nangyari nga, I think I see everybody practicing na when pandemic came, gumawa na ng Facebook group, ng group chat for every class. So ganun yung ginawa nila. I don't know if that also was your naging practice. Subconsciously, gumawa sila ng group chat, tapos doon nagsasubmit si student ng mga requirement, ina-attach. So if kaya yung ganong modality, then you can give that leeway to them. But if here comes first semester, you need to do a needs assessment or do a survey for you to really identify sino to mga estudyante na to. Kasi alam niyo naman yung mga estudyante natin, medyo mapara-paraan din yan. So, kahit na nasa urban area, they will tell you, merong ibang magsasabi, ay, nasa remote ako. So, kailangan, to be fair, alam natin na si student 1 is really in the remote area and considerations, proper considerations should be given to him or her through messenger lang. Ito lang yung tools na gagamitin niya. So, identified niyo yun. So, probably in your class, if you are using spreadsheet, pwede nyo ilagay doon na ito si student 1, nasa remote area, ito yung tool na gagamitin. So, sa kanya, and ito yung, these are the assessments, these are the projects, kasi iba yung approach eh. Ang heavy burden lang siya ng context sa teacher because you will be preparing 2 different ways, di ba po? So, one is for the ones in the remote area and the ones are those having good internet connection. So yun lang po yung magiging difference niya. On the end of teacher, since you are being considerate, kailangan po may dalawang preparation. So yun po, yung mag-struggle lang siya kasi pag write pa lang na module, medyo mahirap na. I know, or time consuming, I mean, but if Messenger can be accessed by those in the remote areas, by all means use Messenger or Facebook. But give them instructions to change their names into their real names, yung Facebook handle po nila. Kasi yung iba, minsan kikita nyo, in-check yung mga names, and the others are in Arabic, others naman are pabaliktad yung pangalan. So, this is a good practice would be putting their correct names in Facebook, then you adding them for in your Facebook group, gawin yung secret, ang gawin nyo na lang para hindi po kita ng lahat ng estudyante ng kahit ibang schools, gawa po kayo ng Facebook group, gawin yung secret ang kanyang type of group para walang makakakita, kayo lang, and then give your netiquettes to your students, and then communicate always through Messenger kasi makikita nyo naman yung activity. The good thing about being connected to your students through Facebook is you are able to identify so sino talaga yung masipag and sino yung parang ang gusto lang is maglaro online, and then less, although it's okay naman kung maglalaro from time to time, but some of the focus kasi dun lang. So kailangan you can also tell them, oy teka, palagi ka nang nagmo-Mobile Legends or may ginagawa mo dyan, please put attention also to our class. So yun po yung magiging help din for those who are in the remote areas. Hopefully Facebook is as accessible. Then you can use Facebook as a online platform.
Okay, thank you, Professor Yulene Medina, for the enlightenment. What about other participants? I hope this time that you will be asking questions.
Dr. Rovi, there is a message coming from our Zoom group chat. This is from Professor Gloria Jean Leonie, and according to her, I guess learning platform has to be discussed with students what is more applicable to them, so there will be no problem among them. Thank you for the input, Professor Leonie.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. What about others? Some more questions? No more? Are there any questions? Because I actually have one. Another question. If you may allow me, Professor Yulene.
Sige po, ma'am. Sige po.
Because in our school, we are thinking of or planning to have that unified LMS.
Apo.
Because before what we had was we use different learning or online learning platforms like Google Classroom, Edmodo. So this time we're planning to have unified, like so what LMS would you like to suggest, ma'am, if we're planning to have a unified what do you call that, learning management system for the entire institution?
Ma'am, bias ako. So Google Classroom, obviously. So since I have been trained in Google technology. At the same time, I've also tested and tried out the other platforms. But since the main catch kasi ng Google Classroom is libre siya, as long as you have an @edu.ph account, so it's free. All you have to do is, yun nga lang, you need to have a good IT team behind you. So I think that's one of the factor. So if wala kayong IT team, then you need to identify who are your champion teachers. Meaning yung teachers nyo na magagaling sa IT, mga millennial teachers. So these are the ones who can be your trainers to the rest of your colleagues. Identify, for example, if you will be using Google Classroom, I can help you out. I can give you some links for the tutorial, explainer videos, para madali yung transition nyo. But you try to create a core group who will be your support system in transitioning from in your unified, yung kung nagpaplano kayo ng unified LMS, no? Kasi ito yun na po yung magiging official, no? The difference lang with the others, like if you will give them a free hand of using their whatever LMS they're accustomed to use, is walang support from the ACAD support. Yung kung papipiliin mo lang sila. But if you will impose a rule wherein ito yung gagamitin nyo officially, then the challenge is now with the admin department, if you're the one managing it, the admin also, is to provide a good support system to the teachers. Para may tatanungan po si teachers kung hindi niya alam kung paano mag-Google Meet, kung paano mag-send ng codes ng Google Classroom sa kanya mga estudyante, merong mag-a-assist sa kanya. Obviously, the one really is struggling right now, first is faculty. So kung hindi masyadong naturuan si faculty, hindi din magiging maganda ang experience ni students. So yun po, yun yung aking suggestion, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Dr. Rovi?
Sir,
To your question, Dr. Robin De Los Reyes has an answer. And according to him, for your question, Rovi, you may explore MOOC or MOOC. It is also for free, but you need IT people to help set it up.
That's true also.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Cha. Actually, IT department is part of our college, the College of Arts and Sciences. We have IT people to help us. Some more queries? If there is none, then let's proceed to the presentation of certificates to our two brilliant and prolific speakers. In order to do that, allow me to call in Dr. Jocelyn T. Gaas, Board of Trustee of this organization and Program Head of Social Work at Western Mindanao State University.
Good morning. Hello?
Morning po.
Okay, good morning. Okay, so my task this morning is to present the certificates to the speakers. Okay. So I will read the content of the certificate. Okay. Republic of the Philippines, Commission on Higher Education, Region 9, Zamboanga Peninsula, and Council of Deans for Humanities, Social Science, and Communication programs hereby award the certificate of recognition to Dr. Roger P. Huercas, for being the resource speaker during the first series of webinars for CODHSC with the theme Transcending Beyond What Was Normal on the topic Transition to New Normal, held on
Dr. Gaas, are you still there?
Yes.
Please continue.
Next. Other certificate po, okay. Republic of the Philippines Commission on Higher Education Region 9, Zamboanga Peninsula, and Council of Deans for Humanities, Social Science and Communication Programs hereby award the Certificate of Recognition to Professor Yolene N. Medina for being the resource speaker during the first of the series of webinars for CODHSC with the theme Transcending Beyond What Was Normal. With the theme Transcending Beyond What Was Normal on the topic Online Learning Platforms, held on June 23, 2020 at 10 a.m. via Zoom. Given this 23rd day of June 2020 in Zamboanga City, Philippines. Signed, Glory Jean G. Leonin, President, Council of Deans for Humanities, Social Science and Communication, or HUSOCOM programs. Signed, Rodi P. Garcia, NDM, ED, OIC Regional Director.
Okay, once again, we would like to thank our two brilliant and prolific speakers for today's session. Thank you so much for sharing your precious time and your distinctive expertise, Professor Yulene E. Medina and Dr. Roger P. Querquez. So at this point in time, we will be hearing impression coming from Dr. Mario F. Alayon, our Board of Trustee of this organization and the Dean at St. Columban College.
Good noon. Panagdait sa tanan from St. Columban College, Pagadian City. I am tasked to give my impression of the activity that we have done, the first of the webinar series for Council of Dean for Humanities, Social Sciences, and Social Work. I am happy that I was able to hear again from the two brilliant speakers. But of course, I have to recognize and give also my impression for the preparation of this activity, which is initiated by Dr. Sham, the Education Supervisor for Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work, with the Council of Deans, headed by our President, Professor Glory Junin. I appreciated also the enthusiasm of our host, Dr. Bangis, our beautiful hosts for this seminar. And of course, although the voice of our director is not so loud because he is in Pagadian now, but very clear to me, again, his assertion on quality, on our teaching and learning delivery to our respective students under our care. We have to be aware that we will not sacrifice at quality. I appreciated the message of the director and also the chief education specialist, Dr. Tan. A very inspiring message, even congratulating all of us for having this council being created this year. Na tao, it was born during the time of pandemic. Congratulations, Dr. Sham, and the rest of the members of the council. On the talk of Dr. Roger Quercus, what I have noted is his discussion, which for me an affirmation of support of our preparation for the opening of classes this August 2020. Although some higher education institutions have been given the go signal by the CHED Region 9 to proceed with the summer classes, but I would like to say that what Dr. Querques, Dr. Sir Roger Querques mentioned, give us the confidence that what we will be doing is all founded on legal aspects of education. So there is a legal foundation to which what we are doing in preparation as a transition to the new normal. Another is I am impressed with what Dr. Quercus mentioned about ethics and etiquettes when we engage in an online learning. Very clear, he said about attire. It's proper to be seen by our students. And even in this kind of activity, di ba? Would you like to see our co-participants wearing sleeveless or short or something that it appeared that we are not in an institution that tackles uh, what we have done now in a manner that is professional in attire. I like what he mentioned about 20 to 30 number of students. Di ba niingon siya, mahirap, it's difficult to handle when we have more than 30 students. We did not have the full control of our students' action when they are online. We might be thinking that they are listening, but they might be doing other things. If we experienced it in the actual classroom, the more we will experience it when they are on online classroom. So for all heads present, maybe, I only say maybe, we have to think how many students do we have in our classroom when we have to employ purely online, face-to-face, or blended learning. Dr. Quercus also mentioned about 20 minutes of engagement. It might be boring for the students if we all, the whole period, 1 hour, 30 minutes, or 3 hours, we are the one talking in the classroom. What about engage them if we have only few minutes to which we will only talk? And he mentioned about teachers not to put on the camera all the time. It coincides that we are not the center of attraction in the classroom. We are facilitators. That also applies when we will be on online classroom. Thank you for that, Sir Roger, Dr. Quercus, for that input. I know we are uh, reminded of what we practice. On the other hand, Dr. Medina, expert in IT, have mentioned that it's true that we are facing dilemma. What about the small schools in the region? When she mentioned about we have to be aware. What is the familiar learning platform in our community where there is a need for a conduct of survey to make sure that what we are doing will respond to what is available around. We have to take note of the cost that might be associated with it. When she mentioned about balance, we might be successful as a teacher because we are happy that we were successful in using these platforms. But what about the learning experiences of our students? Basin kita rin nalipay, pero sila wala. Now, take note, some of our students are only dependent on mobile data. Many of them have no access to Wi-Fi, to internet access that provide clear and excellent connectivity. We have to look into the technology tools ingon pan according to Ma'am Yulin, that different categories, synchronous and asynchronous. And also what I like, because she mentioned also about etiquette, digital citizenship, and digital leadership. We have a reminder again about these things. And now it is confirmed that even Facebook can be used as an online platform when in places where Facebook is more familiar to be used. Thank you for that, Ma'am Medina, for that input, for that sharing. Now we are confident that what we are doing will always respond to the call of CHED for quality delivery of teaching and learning. I cannot afford to forget what he mentioned as the last slide niya. According to her, there can be infinite uses of the computer, of new technology in training. But if the instructors themselves are not able to bring it to the learner, it and make it work, then it fails. It would be useless if we will have a lot of webinars, trainings, and even assertion coming from CHED if this will not be put to application. Again, useless because it is bound to fail. Thank you very much to all of us, and thank you to our CHED supervisors present, attending. Special mention to our supervisors from the Council of the Teacher Education Program, Dr. Joan Quaresma and Dr. Clarissa Alvarez. To all of us, again, panagdait, amping ampo ta sa kanunay. Maingod to, have a happy lunch. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Mario F. Alayon, for that very comprehensive and substantial impression. Now, can we prepare ourselves? May I request all participants to prepare for the photo opportunity? And we are also reminding everyone that in order for you to claim your certificate of attendance, please go to the link that is flashed in our monitor or in our screen, https://bit.ly/June22 CODHSC. And that is only valid for 24 hours only.
Dr. Ravi, the link for the certificate of attendance will be sent through their SMS or through their cell phone and a post in our FB group. And again, it will just be valid for 24 hours.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sham, for the clarification. So shall we have our photo opportunity this time?
Please turn on your videos. Two pages lang. Second page now. Okay, thank you. Dr. Robbie, proceed.
Okay, our first series of webinar has been successfully ended, and by that we would like to thank all the organizers, the technical group, and of course the brainchild of this webinar, Dr. Shamir Arkasim, Education Supervisor 2, and the rest of the officers, members of the Council of Deans on Humanities, Social Sciences, Communication, and Social Work programs, as well as all those who are watching now in the Facebook. Thank you for joining us, and see you again on June 25 at 2 p.m. for another webinar with a theme Education Paradigm Shift via various learning platforms. And Sir Dr. Shah, do you have any announcements?
Currently, I am sending the link of the certificate of attendance and screenshots of all the presentations that we had during this webinar will also be uploaded in our Facebook group. Thank you for your participation, everyone, and congratulations to our first series of webinars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay, before I
sir.
leave, allow me to leave you with my favorite adage coming from John Dewey, the father of modern education. He said that if we are teaching our students the things that we are taught yesterday, then we are robbing them from their better future and bright tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone. Have a happy lunch.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Congrats
Ma'am
to the Yusuf
Robbie.
Council.
Thank you, Dr. Quaresma.
Job
Thank you,
well done, Sir
everyone.
Shamir.
God bless.